Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. Safi's presenting today, so we can jump right into the solution-focused questions. We can go in the order of Chris, Jillian, Tashana, and then Emily. So Chris, if you want to start with the first question.
Absolutely. Safi, what are your best hopes for this consultation?
My hopes are to gain more like insight and ideas into the client's situation and so I can hopefully help her a bit more.
What are your best hopes for this client?
I'm hoping that she is able to work through some of her grief so that she's also like feels a bit more grounded when she's alone, because that's the main thing, is that when she's not around people, she struggles.
Suppose that those best hopes are realized, what will be different?
Well, she's like a very like kind-hearted and caring person, and I think it would kind of like shine through more. Like she has an extroverted side to her, and I think like that would like her confidence would come out more if she was able to kind of like work through some of her struggles better.
Is there anything else that would be different if your best hopes were realized?
I think her substance use would be more under control. Like she would be able to get through difficult situations without using alcohol.
If these hopes are realized, what do you think she would notice?
I think she would just feel more like she could trust herself. She's very real with herself. Like she doesn't lie to like the group or the counselors. Like she knows what she's capable of. So, but she's like willing to like try harder. So I think if she just feel more confident and like she could trust herself to, okay, I got through this. Like I could keep getting through these challenges in life.
What will other people notice if that happens?
I think she'll be able to just kind of live her life in a fuller and happier way, and like she'll be able to move on from like group therapy, be like eventually be able to like move on from like substance counseling and just maybe just have like an outpatient therapist or something.
On a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 stands for meeting your goals and 1 stands for the opposite of that, where are you now?
I would say like a 5. Just that's like the next question, right?
And what tells you that you're at a 5?
Because she's definitely aware of her struggles and her situation, and she knows what her triggers are for using, and she knows what helps her. So like she's like halfway there, but she just like needs like more to like, and maybe like fresh ideas to like help her to like move forward and also to grieve, because that's part of the issue too right now.
How do you know you're not at a 4?
I guess like I said, like she is very aware of her situation, and like when she had like 2 funerals in the same day for like her brother and her sister, and she said to the group, she's like, I'm not expecting myself to get through it without drinking, but I'll try for you guys. Like she was like she was aware. I don't know, I just feel like she's like in halfway there, and like the rest of the way is going to be like a pretty big of a struggle for her to like be able to kind of live by herself and like have times where she's alone without drinking.
Where do you want to be?
I mean, I hope she can get to like a 9 or a 10, like where she just like feels like she's living her best life, because she has like a lot to give.
What would be different 1 step higher on the scale?
I think she would be like starting to kind of wade through the challenges of life, like without getting kind of caught up in the behavior patterns of like drinking in order to cope. Like she'd be starting to use like, and I think like she has some coping skills, but she'd be using even greater coping skills to like get through even harder challenges.
And what are you already doing that is on track?
Um, that I'm personally doing is I'm just being a very like supportive ear for her, trying to give feedback or like help when I think of it, but nothing like judgmental or anything like that, just very supportive because she is doing a lot. Like she's kind of like a matriarch of her family, and that's a lot to deal with too.
In what ways are you being trauma informed?
Um, I think I'm just like again coming from a very non-judgmental mindset and being very receptive to anything she shares during like group therapy, and like the fact that she's just had two very significant losses, like being able to put myself in her shoes, and she's also a mom and a grandmother, and it's like it's a lot, so I can understand that.
What else are you doing that's on track?
um I guess I'm trying when I facilitate or like co-facilitate, trying to get other group members to like help and like give feedback, and like they kind of like work off each other's support.
What is the client already doing that is on track?
Well, she's able to, despite everything, like she's still able to live alone and like have a clean enough apartment for her grandkids to come over, and they sleep over. Like she could feed them, she could take care of them. So she's functioning for sure. She just struggles at times.
And is there anything else that the client is doing that is on track?
Yeah, I think because she's self-aware, like she knows when she's struggling, and she will like say it and like reach out for help. And if she doesn't want to be alone or like needs like kid therapy, like she'll ask for her grandkids to come over and stay with her. So she's able to do that.
So what's the next small step?
I think it would be just like trying to explore a few more coping skills for her, or like ways to kind of speak up maybe with her kids or her family members when she needs help and more support from them.
How will that be helpful?
I think she feels a lot of the time that she's like the helper, and she has the helping role, and she's less likely to get help from other people. She's more likely to give it. So she's wanting to have like some more support from those around her.
Is there anything else you want to share?
I don't think so. I think it's just, I just like hope that she doesn't give up. That's it.
Thank you, Safi.
Mhm.
So we made the space for Safi to share anything else, but does anyone else have any other questions they wanted to ask Safi?
So the funerals, was this recent?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know how she coped with the funerals?
Yeah, she drank. She did like share that like the next group. Like it
That's
seems like she goes like every few days without like just being sober, and then she has trouble like getting through the hump.
Mhm.
So has she like had long periods of sobriety in the past?
I'm not sure how recent they were, honestly. I'm not sure. But I just know like the past few years at least, it's not been like, I don't think more than like a month at a time.
Okay.
Is she able to stay sober while her family and grandchildren are around?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's like her grandkids are like her rock in a sense. Like they're what, like when they're over, like she doesn't drink. So like she's able to not. It's just she's like struggling. I think she feels very lonely and she hasn't had a lot of supports and like in her life and like yeah. But I think they give her like a greater purpose and I think she's kind of lacking, like missing that right now.
Is her family supporting her at all through this?
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think her kids are like trying, but they're also maybe a bit more like involved with their own lives from how she describes it. I don't know. I haven't like sat in on a session with her family supports.
So you said earlier, you hope eventually she can just kind of move on to being just with an outpatient counselor. So is she in the full like outpatient programming, like multiple groups a day? Okay.
Yeah, well, she doesn't do like the full program, but she does. She at least does the group I'm doing
Hmm.
with another counselor on Wednesdays, and then she does like individual therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if she like why she's not in other groups or
Yeah.
whatnot.
So does anyone have any other questions for Safi before we move on? Okay, so we can move on to the wonderment phase now. So we can all turn our cameras off. So if you are ready to share, you can just go right ahead. We do not have to like continue following the order as before.
I'll go first. So Safi, you mentioned how strong this client is, which is an amazing quality, and how much she positively affects others. I wonder if you or others have brought up how her strength can be channeled from within to stop alcohol use, and if she has discussed what a life without alcohol use would look like. I also wonder if she had considered, or if she has considered a goal of becoming a peer support specialist when she's able to reach full sobriety.
I wonder how aware her family is of her struggle with sobriety.
I wonder if she is aware of how much you care about her personally.
I wonder if she shares her struggles with people in her life.
Okay, thank you everyone. We can turn back on our cameras for the compliment phase. I can start with my compliment. I just think you've done a really good job of establishing trust that like it shows in how much she feels comfortable sharing when she does relapse and use, and showing her compassion when she has been drinking recently, because you know this is a really hard time for her.
I like how you're using, your team and your group and all the supports, to kind of work together to find solutions. I think that's essential.
I really appreciate this case and how she, like, you've helped her have this space to really be honest with herself about her drinking and know that, she's going through a tough time and that if she slips, it's okay, but it's coming back to the group. I really appreciate all that.
I like how non-judgmental and open and sensitive you are to the case and your client.
I like how supportive you are with her and really trying to help in any way you can.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
So moving on to the debriefing, Safi, how was this for you?
It was really cool. I don't know, like I was kind of, doing it for everyone else. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I didn't know like how it is on the other side. And I found it brought up a lot of really good questions. And I really like the ideas you all came up with. Yeah,
Good.
it was like
Um,
new insight.
yeah. And for everyone else, how was this for you today?
It was nice that you switched it up a little bit and we got to talk a little bit more about the case.
I definitely appreciated the more like case conferencey, being able to question back and forth and talk about it in a bit more of a less rigid form as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. It feels more personal than before.
Yeah. And I'm glad like you brought a really good case, so I'm glad we could talk about
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of your suggestions and everything to figure out how to move forward with her.
that. Well, it sounds like you're doing good, so
Yeah, she's a cool lady, so hope it works out for her.
yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna end the recording now. Thank you all very much.